the New York State Governor's Office of Motion Picture and Television Development. I work with productions to find great locations throughout the state of New York. I want to welcome you to the Syracuse and Central New York Virtual Fam Tour with our wonderful partners up in Syracuse and the Film Commissioner up in Syracuse, Eric Vinyl. I want to remind you that you can find lots of important links and contact information for our office, and also links and information about the tax credit in the chat box. We'll also be sharing links and contact information for Eric and Film Syracuse and some other members of the team that are joining him today. I want to introduce Yoni Boxer, who is our Executive Director here at the Governor's Film Office. He will be saying some opening remarks before we get to the main event. So Yoni, take it away.
Hello, and thank you all for joining us here today on a tour of Syracuse and Central New York. I hope everyone is excited for this tour. It's so good to see everyone joining us from across the country. Thank you, Laura, for that great introduction, and all you, Mason, Sky, and everyone on the team have done to organize these tours and to support production activities. As Laura mentioned, my name is Yoni Boxer, and I'm the Executive Director of the Governor's Office of Motion Picture and TV Development. Governor Hochul has made it clear that film and TV industry continues to be a priority for New York State. As most of you know, New York has world-class talent, great crew, unique locations, and competitive tax credits. The governor has led the expansion and enhancement of the film tax credit program to ensure New York remains competitive in attracting jobs and production. I'll give you just a few highlights. For productions filming a majority upstate, including Syracuse and the whole Central New York region, the base tax credit rate is now 40%, including goods and services. New York has new requirements for productions to create and implement diversity hiring goals and plans for employees and vendors. The credit has been extended for 5 years through 2034, and the annual allocation has been increased to $700 million per year. The base credit rate for all eligible productions throughout the state has been increased to 30% and includes double-capped eligibility for above-the-line credits. If you film elsewhere and want to do your post-production or visual effects or animation in New York State, you can get a credit of up to 45%. If you have specific questions about the tax credit, contact your office directly, and we're happy to answer those questions or find the people that can. As the Governor's Office of Motion Picture and TV Development, we support and attract film production to the state, but we wouldn't be able to do it without our partners throughout government and communities. Our office serves as a liaison between New York State and the production industry. We work to attract film production to New York and rely on partners like Visit Syracuse. Eric Vinyl, as the Vice President of Film, TV, and Entertainment, leads the great team at Visit Syracuse. When we brag to film productions, producers, and industry leaders and tell them that they need to go to Syracuse and Central New York, we tell them about the great partners who are film-friendly and will make it easy. You're going to hear in this presentation about how they work with local police and state entities, and how when you have your crews on the ground, they'll even curate great activities. The Film Syracuse office is an important asset to New York State as we work to showcase successful filming and support and attract projects. Just like New York State as a whole, Central New York is home to great towns and cities, from Syracuse to Cazenovia and Fayetteville, home to the great blue waters in Green Lake State Park. They have professional workforce development programs to make sure there's qualified crew and several great qualified soundstage facilities. There's the Empire Expo Center, located on Onondaga Lake and home to the New York State Fair, which is available to rent for filming. I'm not sure if any of you are aware, Syracuse is a great hub of production. Since 2017, more than 40 productions have filmed in the Syracuse region, including The Night House and Paper Spiders, which have been picked up by major studios. Of course, there's over a dozen productions that have come out of American High Productions, which you can see on Hulu and elsewhere, from Big Time Adolescence and The Binge to Plan B and Ultimate Playlist of Noise. Without further ado, I'll turn it over to Eric Vinyl, Vice President of Film, TV, and Entertainment, and this great panel he's organized. I know they'll tell you all about why you should bring your next production to Central New York.
Yeah, first page. Hi, everyone. How are you? My name is Eric Vinyl. I'm the VP of Film, TV, and Entertainment here at Visit Syracuse, located in downtown Syracuse. Just a little bit about me first before I introduce our panel. But I would like to thank everyone for being here and thank you to the state for hosting us today. We're excited to talk about Central New York, and I think it's a great time to discuss what we have going on here in Syracuse. I was lucky enough to come into this position back in 2014. I am from Syracuse, Syracuse native, city school grad, played golf down in Binghamton, lived in the city for a while, and was fortunate enough, like I said, to come back home to Syracuse and have this opportunity come up through our former county executive, Joni Mahoney. After spending about 5 years in economic development for Onondaga County, we realized that we need a little bit more support. So to come over to Visit Syracuse right now and have the team around us that we have really has allowed us to grow to the point where we are now. So that being said, I'd like to introduce you to some of our panelists that we have here with us today to explain more about their areas of expertise and what they do here in film in Syracuse. Alexander Corman is from CNY Arts, who is here to chat more about our local film incentive on top of the New York State one. Emily Campbell, our location manager and scout, who has worked on all the American High and Hulu movies here, as well as a number of other films, can talk more about locations. Matt Cushing is a local 52 grip, owns a local grip company, and also very important is the head instructor at WCNY's new Entertainment Academy. Along with us too is Liz Judge, who is with us at Visit Syracuse, who will be talking more about what we provide as a film office for marketing, press, media, and events. So why Syracuse? Well, first of all, it's when I got into this years ago, I didn't come from film, and that was a problem for a lot of folks. And I don't come from film, but I come from Syracuse, and that's what I sell. I sell my home, I sell my hometown, and I sell our region. And with the support of the state and this amazing tax incentive program, that's really the driving force to get people to come to our region is that 40%, that 45%, and what you hear more about our local incentive, which is up to about 30 to 35% back on other expenditures. Central New York, another reason people are here is our cost of living. Just to give you some ideas on how we can help the production's bottom line, numbers like catering and accommodations are very important to what we have to offer, and we pride ourselves in having a cost-effective region. To give you an idea, catering is about $25 to $35 a person per day. Hotel rooms range from $50 to $125 a night. And we'll talk more about that as we go on. But again, a very cost-effective region that just makes your bottom line much healthier than other places. We were able to qualify a number of facilities through the state, especially during COVID, which we'll talk more about later, but a number of qualified production facilities in the region and theaters and other facilities that we can use so we can handle more than one production at once. And one of the things that, we try to do here at Visit Syracuse is to be as hands-on as we can. It's very important for us to make the production companies and the crews feel as if they are at home in our region. So we offer different kinds of programs to make sure people feel comfortable, but we are here to make this your second home while you're here for the 20 to 30 days, hopefully longer with posts now involved. But again, we really want you to be part of our community when you do come to town. As Yoni and Laura did discuss, the tax incentive program in New York State, extremely aggressive. And I give them a lot of credit and the governor a lot of credit for upping the credits this year and then adding above the line so we can compete with states like Georgia and New Jersey. Another piece that's been a huge part for us is our Prime program through Onondaga County. Years ago, we didn't have an above the line program and we needed to really add something a little bit extra to get people to come our direction. Onondaga County and the county executive, Ryan McMahon, through CNY Arts, was able to establish a pot of money that is accessible to productions. So again, right now, we have one of the highest incentives pretty much in the country, given the additions of the above the line and our local incentive. And the good thing about the local incentive too, is it does pay back in earlier benchmarks than some other programs. So throughout the production process, you can get a check from our program to put that back into cash flow and put it back into the production. So hopefully you can wrap the film and maybe even do post in Syracuse. I'd like to turn it over really quickly to Alex Corman so he can talk a little bit more about the Prime program in Central New York.
Thank you, Eric. Hi, everybody. My name is Alex Corman. I'm Director of Communications and Marketing at CNY Arts. And like Eric, I'm from Syracuse as well. I'm really proud of the infrastructure, workforce, and incentive program that we have in place to encourage film and TV production in the Central New York region. CNY Arts administrates the Primed program, that's Production Rebate Incentive for Movies and Entertainment Development, in partnership with Onondaga County. The county has very generously provided this pot of funds to incentivize production. And I'd like to just take a moment to review the incentive program from a sort of 30,000-foot perspective. Of course, we have an opportunity afterward for questions. In a nutshell, the incentive encourages production for feature films, television pilots, and commercial. There is a minimum budget threshold for each category of production, $1.5 million for feature film, $400,000 for commercial, and $1 million for television pilots. One of the things that distinguishes the local incentive program from our peers elsewhere in the country is that the incentive can be leveraged alongside the tax credit. Eric touched on how generous the tax credit is. We thank our partners at the state level for making that possible. So it really is a significant benefit to the bottom line of production. There is also a short turnaround time. Typically, production can expect to receive the rebate within about 3 months or so after having submitted their deliverables. And as well, we also want to encourage diversity in the entertainment workforce. On top of the base 25% incentive on local qualified expenditure, the Primed program also offers up to 5% additional incentive to productions who hire diverse crew, for instance, veterans, students, recent graduates, and folks who come from traditionally underrepresented communities in the TV and film industry. A couple of prerequisites in order for a feature film to apply to the program. The production must first secure a certificate of eligibility from the Film Tax Credit Office. It is required that the film produce at least 70% of principal photography in Onondaga County. And we also require that prospective productions demonstrate secured financing upfront. Now, you may ask, how does a production go about securing the incentive? Through a competitive application process that is vetted by a panel of industry experts. Those panelists will determine which productions are ultimately approved for the incentive. And the panelists evaluate the competitiveness of a production in 3 major categories, that is creative merit, feasibility, and economic impact. The Primed program is fundamentally about economic impact, building up the industry in town and encouraging feature films to come here, shoot, and hopefully return. And of course, like we said, we have a question and answer session at the end. I'm happy to go into more detail about the program in general. I'd like to thank everybody for their time, and I'll turn it back over to Eric.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it. So to talk about some of our QPFs that we have in the region, during COVID, we had to find a solution to get more space because at the time, all we had was the Greater Syracuse Soundstage, which overall is a 50,000 square foot facility out in East Syracuse with a 15,000 square foot soundstage on it. It's a fantastic facility, but we needed more. So we were able to qualify a number of different facilities, our newest one being Case Supply Studios, which is right in the heart of downtown Syracuse. It's about a 2-block walk from the hotels where most of our crew does stay. Also downtown is our post-production facility, which we'll discuss. But either way, Case Supply is our newest facility that we have. Again, in downtown where it needs to be. It's bringing business, it's bringing an attraction to an area that has been underserved. And as we discussed diversity here, it's a part of our diversification plan to have the stage where it is. American High has made an incredible impact since they have been here. It's been a few years since they have been, but Jeremy Garlick and his team took a huge risk on Syracuse, decided to buy a school, which has become really where their production office is, where all their sets are, where their QPF is. So it's been a huge asset to us. It's the reason that we have Hulu having a flag in Syracuse really came from them and their sale of Big Time Adolescence at Sundance back in 2019. So again, very fortunate to have them in their facility. We touched on the Greater Syracuse Soundstage. Downtown Syracuse, we also have the on-center properties where we do a number of our conventions. So during COVID, we were able to qualify not only the convention center, but also our War Memorial space and Civic Center space, which are connected via an underground tunnel. So no need to go out in the snow, which is great in the winter. But working with ASM Global and their team has really been fantastic. And even though conventions are back, we still do have the ability to access that facility. The Red House Art Center, just under new management, was fantastic, and their team has been great over the past few years. They have about a 40,000 square foot venue with multiple stages inside, which we can, for commercial production or a smaller show that just is putting up 3 walls, it's a great facility for them to use. And the New York State Fairgrounds is something that Yoni did touch on. Not sure how many have been to the New York State Fair, but it exists on about 360 acres in central New York, out by the Solvay area, Geddes area, which is very much a Rust Belt town, which doesn't really see much activity. This facility, when you take an overhead shot of it, it really is a back lot. And if you look at this space you're seeing now, that red building is our Center Progress building, which we are working with the fairgrounds and hopefully the state to figure out how to make this a place where you can shoot and a qualified facility. Right now, it is lacking some soundproofing. It is available to shoot in, but again, is lacking a few things that our industry does need. But this facility, we have shot numerous films there. We've done car chase scenes. We've done explosions. We've done anything you can think of at this facility because it's in the middle of nowhere on 360 acres, self-governing, protected by a fence, owned by New York State. So a great partnership here that we're looking forward to develop, not only with the fairgrounds, but also the state. And offering up a potential backlot in upstate New York would be huge for our infrastructure. Another facility that that is kind of new, kind of not, which we haven't touched on yet, is our new post-production facility, Studio Central. Has been recently acquired and under construction right now, and a little information from the owners on what they are going to offer in this space. They're basically going to we've done audio there for years, so ADR, VO work that we've done for quite a long time. But right now, again, from the owners that we can share, 2 dedicated 4K HDR Dolby Atmos Pro Tool stages. We'll have an animation floor with 12 dedicated animation studios. 20 plus sound editing bays, 1 home theater Dolby Atmos screening room for 35 people. And again, the list goes on. But again, we finally will have the ability to have a run of show here for post in a facility downtown that will qualify for that 45% as well as the local incentive. Another reason people do want to come shoot here is because of our locations. And I'm going to turn it over to Emily Campbell in a second. But again, you can get everywhere in Syracuse in about 12 minutes. We've used it as a joke, but it's actually real. From here to our soundstage in East Syracuse, 12 minutes. Here to the airport, 12 minutes. So the traffic that many of you are used to doesn't really exist. So it makes moving around town and company moves very simple. Again, and a lot of what we've worked on and that Emily's been great at is developing these relationships with film-friendly locations so we're not wasting a director's time seeing something that they love that we can't shoot. So that being said, we are very, very film-friendly. The budgets are right, the numbers work, and people are very excited to have films come to town. I think that's a huge part of our regions. People get excited about something being here. They understand the impact that it makes, and they want to share their homes and businesses with us. So that being said, I want to turn it over to Emily for a second and talk a little bit about locations and permitting.
Yeah, thank you, Eric, for having me here. Hi, everyone. I'm Emily Campbell. I'm a local 817 Teamster and location manager out here. Been working out here for about 5 years now. I didn't grow up here, but I have a lot of family connections and went to Syracuse University for film school. So super happy to be back and building up the industry here. Just a touch about locations, like Eric said, we are so blessed to have downtown area. You can film anything from, we pose New York City, to going 12 minutes away. We can do everything from farmland to posing South Dakota, whatever you kind of need, we got here. Over 5 years, I've been working with the local community to work on the permitting process and just getting everything set up for filming. It's been super easy. Everybody wants filming done here, so they've made it super streamlined. Usually our permits, they cost about $50 to $100, depending on what municipality we're working with, and things like that. Parking, everybody wants to know about parking. Can we shut down streets? Where can we put our trucks? Where's all the crew gonna park? Super easy. We've worked with the city, for a day rate, one parking spot, about $18. So, very cheap and film friendly here. Another plus, everybody's so excited about filming here, right? So part of my job and my team's job has been educating the community. Everybody still is so curious. What is filming? What do you do? How is it done? It's been super amazing to be, working with businesses who could use the extra money for filming, or working with, houses or families who've just been in love with movies their entire life and now can see it in their own backyard. We've been fortunate enough, we're calling it Hollycuse now, doing our local Syracuse, seeing it on film, and the community, it's here, everybody wants it here. And yeah, so like I said, very film friendly. If there's specific questions people are curious about for locations, happy to answer it. But yeah.
Thank you, Emily.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. So into our film office services that we provide. Again, this is just a list, kind of a broad overview of what we do. But something that's a little different about us, our sales team does help with accommodations to make sure they get the lowest rate, which we'll talk about later. We do press releases, we do social. So I'd like to turn it over really quickly to Liz Judge to just talk about a little about what we do when we're not filming, from our film industry discount card to events that we arrange, and press and social.
Hey, I'm Liz Judge. I'm with the Visit Syracuse and Visit Syracuse Film Office marketing team. So we do operate as a tourism bureau, destination management organization. So when we're not working on film productions and helping Eric out with everything, we do just work on selling the region overall as a tourist spot, and just a family-friendly destination. When it comes to film, we particularly help with press releases, media. We do have a lot of contacts locally and regionally. Specifically, we'll send out casting calls for certain productions if they're looking for some general casting or specific casting, if a specific location or things like vehicles, smaller things like that are still being searched for by a production team. We will reach out to the media, typically through press releases, so it can get out to news organizations, social media if it is applicable and has the right audience. We do also help with some hospitality items, gift baskets, promotional items. We have provided crew in the past with, some logoed winter hats, sweatshirts, things like that, just to kind of help out on set. We also have a film discount card, which we update fairly annually, that connects the cast and crew with different businesses in town, so that when they do have some downtime, they can go out, they get a small discount. We do leave it up to the local businesses to kind of decide what that is. Typically, it is going to be a 10% discount at restaurants, attractions, things like that. And then just a part of what we do in general as the Visit Syracuse office, we also provide that to the film cast and crew. So if they're here, they've got some down days, they're free on weekends, nights, anything like that. We give them some updates on things that are happening in the area, places that they can go, special events, anything like that. We do that pretty much on a weekly basis, both for the film office and for our office in general.
Thank you, Liz. Appreciate it. And on top of that too, a big part of this is like the entertainment when people aren't filming. So whether it be a sporting event, Syracuse sports is obviously huge here. Our local hockey team, the Crunch, is great, but anything from, a tour of our wineries or our apple orchards, things that really people don't get experience very often. We want them to take advantage of upstate New York while they're here. And like we talked about earlier, really being a part of our community. A big important piece to us, and I hope it's important to everyone, is diversity and inclusion. We've seen for years that, people wanting to push to more diverse film sets, and we feel that we're doing a great job here in Central New York, making this push. Coming from a city school, we had a very diverse demographic in these schools. And so it's very important for us to utilize the talent that we have here, because for so many years, even the 10 years I've been here, I don't think that everyone's been represented properly on our film sets or in our cast and crew. So that being said, we do want to make sure that we're making this push. So we are working right now with the city school districts like I said, I'm a city school grad. My mom taught in the district for over 40 years. A lot of these kids, you know, it's either sports or it's nothing. And we want to give them an option, especially the creatives that want to do something within the entertainment world. So we work with the city school district. Right now, we're actually helping build curriculum for our first STEAM school that'll have obviously a high level of arts involved in what they do. So again, giving these students, these kids, even adults, the opportunity to work in this industry where they haven't been properly represented. We have the demographic to do that. We have the talent, and we've seen people be very hungry to be involved in this industry. And I'd like to pass it over to Matt Cushing to talk about his program at WCNY. That was actually came to fruition because of the grant from the state. So thank you, New York State, for this generous grant. You're making a difference, and I'll let Matt talk a little more about that.
Thank you very much, Eric. Hi, everyone. My name's Matt Cushing. I'm in IATSE Local 52 GRIP. I own Salt City GRIP here in Syracuse, New York, and I'm the head instructor of the WCNY Entertainment Academy. I am also a local. I grew up here. I left and started working in film in 2007, and since in the 17 years, I guess it is. I've worked in Nashville, Atlanta, Philadelphia, New York City, all over the place. And when I found an opportunity to come back to Syracuse and work in film, it was like a dream come true. So what the WCNY Entertainment Academy is about is last March, WCNY reached out to Local 52 with this idea of a training program, and they had already secured a grant for the Workforce Diversity Grant Program, and asked 52 to help create a curriculum and help execute it. And with the help of our 52 president, William Klatt and John Ford, and Region 3 Representative John Scardino, I was able to put together a curriculum that covered almost every trade that 52 covers over the course of 14 weeks. And with the purpose of not creating this graduates who were ready to go out and be in, you know, a department by themselves, but create something that Central New York really needed, which was good day players, not masters at their craft, but, you know, good enough to be more than just a pair of hands, understanding that the true education in film comes from being on set. And looking at what one of the pain points we have on the labor side of things in Central New York is we have some good technicians here, but every once in a while we'll have a production come in that's bigger than what we can handle, and we need to import labor from Buffalo and Rochester and New York City. And we're trying to help alleviate that pain point, not only from the labor side of things, but also from the production side of things. So understanding that if you have to travel and distant hire a lot of crew members from New York City or anywhere, a lot of that tax incentive money kind of evaporates. So what we're trying to do is create, we're graduating between 14 and 16 students every 14 weeks. And with the diversity grant covering 1 year from September of last year to August of this year, we're hoping to have 48 graduates ready to enter the workforce and ready to let Syracuse support its own film projects without having to import labor on a scale that we've previously had to. And in the meantime, the recruiting effort inside WCNY has been making a great push to actually make it a diverse classroom and have a diverse set of graduates. I don't have the actual numbers on that right now, but it's really impressive.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's what I've got for right now.
Thanks, Matt. And just to piggyback on what Max talking about, you know, I was fortunate enough to be able to attend a recent graduating class. 16 people graduated December 21st, I believe. And I can say it was emotional. It was an emotional thing to experience. It was a great thing to see these graduates who are not just students, they're adults also that are looking for a different way of life, a different path. And Mac did an incredible job with his team teaching these students. And it was great to see these folks really have a leg in the door here to really be a part of this industry. And what we're working on with Alex and his team is also putting into our local grant incentive program a job placement component where if a production does want to receive these diversification points, they're required to hire X amount of people from this graduating class, maybe as a PA where they see them fit. But now we're talking about job placement, which is what we also missed before. So the crew is our lifeblood. Without the crew, we don't get what we have. And we've been fortunate enough to have great relationships with IA, with the Teamsters, with the other unions, as well as our partners across Route 90 down to Binghamton, from Buffalo, Rochester, Albany, and down to the southern tier. Sharing that crew and sharing resources is important. We are all part of a team and we want everybody in upstate to really be successful. And I think this program will allow us to do that. Just a few successes that we've had recently. Yoni and Laura touched on that American High is here, Hulu is here. You can watch a lot of their projects on Hulu, which is fantastic. I don't think anything brings more pride than to see your hometown on the big or small screen. It is exciting for everybody. Again, Emily worked on a lot of these films. Alex was a part of them. Max a part of each one of them. Our most recent ones probably being Manodrome with Adrian Brody and Jesse Eisenberg. Recently wrapped. That's on VOD now. Shelter in Solitude from our local Siobhan Fallon Hogan, who you may know from SNL, Seinfeld, and Forrest Gump. She did a film here. It was great to have. Patton Oswalt did I Love My Dad. So again, we've got some a lot of great projects out there. We've still got a lot of work to do, but we're getting to that point. And we couldn't do this work without our industry partner. So just to highlight a few of our people that we do work with, I don't need to read them all off, but you can see, our relationships that we do have within the industry. And it's been a pleasure building these relationships. And the unions, have been so great working with us and our support. The support we get from them has been huge because they haven't always had a presence here. So again, you'll see a lot of government entities, Deerhead, Expressway, Salt City Grip, Lemoyne College, Syracuse University. I mean, the students here alone, could be many crews deep. So to have this town in our backyard, we're really starting to work more with the universities to make sure not only we helping with student films, but also how do we create that retention to let these students know that this industry is happening here in Syracuse. You don't need to go to New York, Boston, Atlanta, New Mexico to make this happen. You can build up your IMDb credits really right in your backyard. A couple new ones that we have here. Studio Central is a new post-production facility we discussed. Case Supply is our new soundstage. Syracuse Studios, a part of American High, within American High, kind of their production service arm. But again, both have been extremely supportive of what we do, and we're happy to have them here. And really, lastly, before we get to a quick video, just talking about accommodations. We did touch on the price points of the hotels, and our team here will help the production find those lowest price points within our network. So basically what we do, you come to us with a budget, we put an RFP out to local hotels. Those that want it will bite, and those that don't will not. If you do have specific requests for those hotels, we will negotiate on your behalf to get that rate where you need it to be. And we do see a lot of flexibility within these facilities to help us out and make sure not only crew is happy, but also talent is happy, secure, safe, private. Most of our hotels, we know there's always a couple pets on set. So most of our hotels are pet friendly. If the hotels do not work out outside of our staff, Emily's actually a real estate agent as well, which is super helpful. So we do have access to the Airbnbs, to short-term furnished rentals, and it's really been great to see these short-term furnished pop up because it's been helpful not only to us, but to the university and to our medical community here. For those of you who like your points, we do have a lot of regional flags and national flags here. And how do we get here? Pretty simple. We're about, wheels up, wheels down from JFK is about 45 minutes. Probably takes you longer to get out of the city to JFK than it will get you to Syracuse. The train's not bad. It's down to about 5 hours now. But again, it's a great little drive from the city up here. We are working on a direct flight to Los Angeles diligently. We know that's a weak point for us, but there is a direct flight to Buffalo, which is about a 2-hour drive from Syracuse. But either way, easy to get to, and we want to make everything while you're here as simple as it can be. We're going to watch a quick video of just give you an idea of what Syracuse looks like in case you haven't been here, and then we will wrap this up to go to Q&A. So that's it for us. I think we'll turn it back to Laura and Yoni to give the Q&A part of this. Thank you, everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you, Eric, and thank you, everyone. What a terrific presentation. I want to remind folks that you can find all of the links, not only for our office, the tax credit office, Eric's office, and all of the panelists, and all the information and links to the programs that they have been discussing throughout this really terrific presentation. I want you to know if you want to ask questions, please do so in the Q&A box. All right, here we go. We've got some location questions. First one, does Syracuse University allow filming?
Yeah, we filmed actually Paper Spiders on Syracuse University's campus. As you can see, I think it's the opening shot there is actually right on their quad. So they've been a pleasure to work with as an alum. It makes me so happy to go back and bring projects there. But yeah, Syracuse University is film friendly, as well as Onondaga Community College and Lemoyne College.
Yeah, the universities, they want their students to see that things are happening in Central New York. So for them to come out of a class and see something going on, I think it's a great motivator and a big boost to the morale on campus. And Syracuse University is a beautiful campus. It's its own little town, and we've actually been fortunate enough to work with their team there to have their own location kind of office. So we took a long time to get that point, but we streamlined this process a bit. So we now know exactly where we're going for parking, for which building, and the team we need in place. And the other universities that we have here, Ithaca's half an hour away, Cortland's a half hour away, Binghamton an hour away. Lemoyne right here, Onondaga Community College has been a huge asset to us. So the campuses have been very film friendly to us over the past, 6-7 years. Yeah.
Great. Just a couple more location questions real quick. This person is asking, are most of the county and municipal buildings in Syracuse film friendly? And also, is there a place that we can see more locations? Do you have a location library on your website, Eric?
So we have some, but Emily has a ton. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, the municipal buildings are available. I think we can probably talk a little bit about Binge 2.
Yeah.
There's a scene with Caitlin Olson speaking on the steps of our county courthouse. That county courthouse is operated by New York court system in the city of Syracuse. So it was like 6 municipalities we had to get,
Yeah.
or organizations
Permission
on board.
from and, yeah.
But we got it done, and we shut the road down, I think, with 2 cops.
Yeah.
We shot for 2 or 3 days there.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot of their money going to what we do too, and everybody sees the benefit. So when we're parked on, 4 different streets, that's $18 a spot for a few days. So they've become very film friendly to us and encourage production. And we've really got approval time turnaround pretty quickly, within a day or two. We have approvals even on road closures. So yes, municipalities very much in play, and they welcome the production.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that.
We get a couple
this is
questions for
question
Q&A.
probably,
Can we click on the Q&A?
about the workforce development program. How involved is IA in that program, and how often does that program run during the year? I think you had mentioned you're graduating 14 to 16 students every 14 weeks. So is that running throughout the year, or is it just 2 sessions a year?
So the grant is for 3 sessions over the course of a year. So we had our first session, which was September through December of last year. We're currently in our second session, which is January through April. And then our final one, for the grant is going to be May through, August. And, WCNY is hoping to, get another year-long grant, and we're gonna try to keep this going as long as we can. And as far as the IA's involvement, the IA is signing off on all of the lesson plans, making sure they line up with the values we're trying to, we hold our card holders to. And every instructor is a member of Local 52. So not only are these students getting trained to do the job, they're also meeting the department heads who could be hiring them in the future in the form of they're the trainers.
As long as you keep giving us money, we're gonna keep doing this program.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Sounds great. Another question. Now, we know that you are not Mother Nature here, but can you tell us how much snow have you received so far this winter? And has it been different from other winters? Last more?
4.
Yeah, 28 inches total, and it probably came in like 4 hours. But we do get snow traditionally. A safe bet is anything before like Thanksgiving usually. And then, but we've had winter start late this year, and spring start early. I'm a golfer, so I love to get out there, but I do enjoy the snow. If you do need it, if that's kind of where this question is going, if you do need the snow, you saw some local ski resorts that we have. We are able to bring snow from those resorts because we're close to the owners. The beauty of Syracuse, everyone's kind of 1 degree of separation away. So we're able to ship some snow in when we do need it. We actually had to do that for Pottersville, Ron Perlman, Mike Shannon, Judy Greer, Christina Hendricks movie down in Hamilton, New York. We had to bring some snow in, and of course, we got a blizzard like 24 hours after. But yeah, we have access to it.
That's great. Thank you so much. I've got one more question. We have time for one more question. And this is another locations question, guys. Are there any older industrial brick warehouse, kind of less redeveloped locations there in Syracuse? Like any period distressed kind of NYC neighborhood?
Welcome to
type?
Syracuse. We got tons of them. Tons of them. Yeah. If you're looking for something specific, my email's below, but tons of them.
Yeah, we have, I mean, this really was a very industrial town, like we talked about the area, Geddes and Solvay, where the fairgrounds are, very much Rust Belt, and a lot of rundown factories. Case Supply is an old kitchen and bath showroom, brick building. So it's really a lot of what we have here. It's very accessible. And again, Emily and her team has worked with these owners time and time again to make sure that these are film friendly. So any location specific needs between Emily and myself, I think we can get you photos and anything you might need to see before you make a decision to come up for a scout.
That's fantastic. I just want to thank you all so much for this incredibly informative presentation. I want to thank all the attendees for participating today. It's great to see you all. Yoni, thank you so much for all you do in the office and the team here. If we did not get to your question, we're so sorry. If it's tax related, again, please reach out to our office. Hey, we'll see you in Syracuse. Thanks, guys.
Everyone.
Appreciate it.